Okay.
You know what? We haven't given it an F.
You want to give an F?
Give it an F. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Right Bench Podcast. I'm Charlie.
And I'm James.
Season 3, Episode 12. Good stuff, man.
Yep.
It's already been 12. Sorry the light's shining on me. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but it's fine. Alright. Anyway, good episode today. Grading NFL offseason moves at this point in the season. So last offseason, there's big moves. There's actually a lot of them, which is crazy.
Yep.
So we just picked the top 11. We had left some out, which stinks. But yeah, so we're gonna grade them based on how well they've worked out so far. The title, I couldn't really fit all that into a title, so
yeah,
you'll get it. All right, I was thinking about that earlier.
It's a long. I mean, it's yeah.
We're just gonna leaving out the part how they've worked out so far. I don't know. You'll see.
Yeah, you'll see. It's pretty simple actually.
Okay, then we'll also have recent rundown, a new little segment. You have to stay around for that. NFL picks and dog of the week. We do have a guest, of course. He does have a dog of the week too, so we have to keep waiting for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I told you that yesterday. Don't expect
Yeah, no, I heard it. Yeah,
all right.
I know.
All right, let's start. Okay, Saquon Barkley to the Eagles. So we are going to give plus and minuses, right? Is that what we said?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, plus and minuses are going to be given out.
It's like a real grade on a test. Like,
no S pluses to those little kids out there. No.
Oh, yeah.
No, just A through F.
Physical education, S+.
And religion for my brother.
You get religion? Interesting.
Yeah.
That is, wow.
Maybe not anymore, but it was last year.
Interesting.
All right. Yeah, we had that too. All right.
Did we?
Yeah. Like,
no, we did
religion
not.
was S plus longer than the others.
In middle school, we had it.
Well, middle school, but in 4th grade, I think we did.
Oh. All
yeah.
right.
Sorry. Anyway, should have tell that. Saquon Barkley to the Eagles now. Is the first one we're gonna do. He's been freaking sensational.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, everything they could have asked for. Now, I think that partly because of the Eagles' offensive line and their scheme, because any running back could be good for the Eagles, but also now it's just been heightened by the Saquon Barkley being there, and he's just like the GOAT. So, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with this was like the most exciting move of the offseason, in my opinion. It was a move that I think everyone thought it was going to work out, and it has. It's paid off. I think it was probably, in my opinion, it was the biggest move and the most important move. That's kind of what the Eagles have been lacking. It's an explosive running back, right? They have, Miles Sanders was decent 2 years ago, right? But he's not explosive like Saquon is. He brings a whole new life to kind of how the Eagles play. They just play such a different brand of football now. I don't know. This is, in my opinion, it's an A.
Yeah, so I wouldn't go to the A plus range just because I feel like they knew what they were getting, right?
Yep.
Whereas the A plus would be like, we paid this guy nothing and now he's the greatest, right? But Saquon, it was like textbook. We know he's going to be freaking awesome. And everyone knows he's going to be freaking awesome, right? So, yeah, I think either A flat or A minus. I could go A flat, though.
I think A flat.
Especially if they had 1 or 2 more losses, I go A minus, but
they're rolling right now. Like
they're really
they are rolling, so.
Maybe, make the font a little bigger on the A's, but after that, after we're done. All right. Sorry, I'm just nitpicking over here. Sorry about that. All right, next one. You got it?
Yeah, Stephon Diggs to the Texans. I think this was one I didn't expect to be as good as a lot of people did. It was I think it was 50-50 on people thought he was going to be, amazing and he was going to be so good. This 3 wide receiver set with Nico Collins, him, and Tank Dell. And he was really, really good until now. He's on IR, obviously. He's been out a couple weeks. But he was really good. He was more efficient than I believed he would be. I thought he would get kind of overshown by Nico Collins, which Nico Collins had a very, very good season. But I think Stephon Diggs, before he got hurt, he was playing incredible. I think it was a shaky move at the time, but I do think it paid off.
Yeah, so my stance on this is what I end up having sometimes, right, where I had no clue what was going to happen. Like, I could see it going so well, I could see it going so poorly. There was very good arguments on either side. I wouldn't have been able to predict it, right? Yeah. And he was really good, right? Not as great as some people might have thought, but also not bad at all. He was great. Right now, through 8 games, 47 interceptions, 496 yards, 3 touchdowns. So he was solid, right?
He was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, so I would say this is C or C minus because now he's on IR. So
okay, well, I mean,
how much did he affect the success of the team? I wouldn't say very affected it at all.
Okay,
and also he's on IR, which does not help his case.
Okay, well, so I think I agree with what you're saying with the thing where it's like how much does he affect the team and stuff. I think the thing with Diggs though to think about is like he wasn't supposed to. I mean, Houston was really good last year. We have to remember that Houston was really freaking good with the exact same core pretty much. They obviously added a couple guys, but when they added Diggs, it was kind of just more of a depth piece in a way. He's an old guy. He's an old receiver. It's more of a teaching thing. Nico Collins was the number 1 receiver still. Everyone knew that. Stephon Diggs was coming in as the 2. I think I'd give it like a B-. That would be kind of my stance on it.
I also don't know why they did this. Like, honestly, like, I don't think this was a needed move. They could have put their money somewhere else, right? I think they have a really good receiver core. Now you're probably delaying Tank Dell's development because he's not getting as much attention in the passing game. And now Stephon Diggs, I really don't think he's that good of a player this year. I just think he's being put in good situations, like it's kind of like Tank Dell was last year, the wide receiver 2 spot, to getting that single coverage, right? So I think what he's doing is what Tank Dell would be doing if Tank Dell was in that spot. Mm-hmm. I would go C. We can go C flat. I feel like is where I would.
C flat.
C flat. We can go C plus if you're really confident. We can go C plus. I really like C flat.
Okay, that's fine. We'll go C flat. That's just such an interesting one. It's one of the most surprising ones when it happened for me. I was not expecting that.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting him to go there.
Yeah, I just think it was pointless. They could have invested in a wide receiver 3 that could probably give them more value in the long run or like more total value this season.
Yeah, maybe he's been good. I mean, he has been very efficient.
He's been Stephon Diggs, but he's not as good as he was the last few years, and he's just not making that much of a difference. That's what I think.
Okay.
All right, next one.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you got it.
Keenan Allen to the Bears.
Oh, that's not what I had next.
Oh, really?
Oh, you missed one.
Oh, I did?
You write it at the bottom.
Oh, no. What I
Kirk Cousins to the Falcons.
Oh, I did miss one.
So, this one, I'm thinking somewhere in the middle too, probably. He's been good, right? The Falcons have really kind of struggled as of late, but in the first few weeks he was amazing. Up until a few weeks ago, he kind of like fell off. He hasn't been as good. I'll pull up his stats in a second, but I feel like he's just in the middle. He hasn't affected the team's success as much as they thought that he would.
Okay.
I was never on the train that he would make a big difference.
Okay,
I was on the train that the Falcons are made.
So I think a lot of people agree with that, obviously, and I think he's played better than expectations. You got to remember he was coming off the injury, right? He was coming off that ankle injury. That was it was a tough injury. It's a very hard injury to come back from. And he's played like Kirk Cousins. He's played the exact same way he's played in Minnesota throughout his entire career in Washington, Minnesota. Like, he has played like Kirk Cousins. He's played Kirk Cousins football, and I think he brings a whole different feel to the Falcons, right? I think it's a guy you can rally behind. They haven't really had that at the quarterback position the last, 5 years, since Matt Ryan obviously retired. I think Kirk Cousins was a guy to come in, and he's able to kind of steady the boat, right? They had a lot of pieces. Like, Drake London was one of my favorite receivers in the league. He was never being used right. Never. And I think Kirk Cousins is able to bring a different side out to some players. So I think they knew what they were getting, but I think they actually got it a little better because of him coming off the injury, if you remember. I think that was a big deal. I don't think people thought he was going to be as good because of that injury.
I feel like
and he's played on the same level as he has in Minnesota.
I feel like people thought he'd be like better than he is. Like I feel like I'm not saying he hasn't been good, but I'm saying like I feel like people's expectations for the Falcons this year were very high, and they just maybe not even your expectations. Weren't my expectations. But I feel like around the community there was a lot more hype around the Falcons than there should have been.
I think a lot of people thought they would be the number 1 team in the AFC South or in the NFC South. I think a lot of people thought that. I think people thought that their record was going to be around where it is right now with how bad the NFC South is. They're 6-4.
6-5.
6-5 now.
But I think people thought they'd be an 11-win team, and they're not on that track right now.
But I mean, I don't think people thought that.
I think they did. We can disagree on that. But okay. All right, I really don't think he's been that good. Though looking at the stats, I mean, eye test. He was great for a few games. But he's got 9 interceptions, 17 touchdowns. That's not good. He's got 2,800 yards, which is good. 68% completion, which is solid. So, I don't know. Where do you want to go on this? You set the standard.
In my opinion, this is a better move than Stephon Diggs. In my opinion. Pretty easily. Just because of what the Falcons had. Think about what the Falcons had. Right? I mean, they started Marcus Mariota last year.
Yeah, I also think that people thought the Falcons had better other positions, even though they really didn't. Like, their receiving core is not that good. It didn't improve.
Exactly. It wasn't that good coming into the season, correct? Like, a lot of people thought the receiving core was not going to be as good. Yeah. They've been pretty dang good.
Yeah. We can do. I think
like Darnell Mooney has been amazing with Kirk Cousins at quarterback.
What do you want to do?
I think we should give it the same grade as Stephon Diggs. I think we can go C.
I could say C+. You
want to go C+? Yeah,
I want to go C+.
All right, let's go C+. I agree with that. I think it all depends on just kind of like it depends on a lot, in my opinion, with the Falcons thing.
All right. Now, you tell us the next one, James.
Keenan Allen to the Bears.
It's been a nightmare.
Another wide receiver. It's been rough for Chicago this year. It's been kind of it's been a shaky season, right? Keenan Allen, I didn't really approve of this move when it happened. I didn't think he really made the Bears better, right? He didn't make them a contender in the NFC North. Like, it wasn't something where it's like groundbreaking like Saquon Barkley. So I didn't really get the move at the time. I still don't really get the move now. You had DJ Moore, a rookie quarterback. Maybe you give him some stability. I don't know. It felt weird. They gave him a lot of money. I didn't love it. I don't love the move.
So another one of those where I was completely like torn. I did not know which way to think about this. Keenan Allen, a guy you could smell the fall off from a mile away, right?
Yeah.
But he's also a guy that was such top of the league the last few years, where like he could fall off, he could be just as good. You don't know, right?
Yeah.
He's fallen off bad. He's at 282 yards right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. The Bears don't really know why they did that. Looking for a young team, maybe it was. I was kind of neutral on it, maybe a little bit on the lower side, but I think you gotta give it D- or F because of how pitiful he's been. 282 yards. That's 40 yards more than DeAndre Swift has in the receiving game.
That's fair. He was out a couple games, I'm pretty sure, right? I mean, he's only played like, 7, 8 games?
But 8, yeah.
Okay, 8 games. You also have a rookie quarterback. I do want to think about that, right? It's a little bit different than Justin Herbert. A guy who's been in the league a couple years.
Yeah.
Going into a rookie system, it's not like you're going to play with a guy like Jaden Daniels. He didn't play as well as Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, well, Roman and DJ Moore each have like 200 more yards than him.
Exactly, but like look at Darnell Mooney. In the same games played, he put up 700 yards.
Darnell Mooney's got the most yards on Atlanta. Right?
In Rome Odunze's put up the top on their team, and it's 470. That has to come down to a little bit of quarterback play.
It does, and that's why.
So I think a D would be where I would go.
I think the highest I could go is D- because I think you said you don't really get the move. Like it wasn't a good move.
No, I didn't get the move at the start.
It wasn't a good move at the start. What would you have given it at the time?
Well, a lot. So
what would you have given it at the time?
At the time, I would have given it around a C.
Around a C?
Yes, because of the move.
You said you were down on it. You want to give it right in the middle? You're not. If you're down on it, you should get under C. I feel like.
But I mean that's kind of where A plus would be I was up on it, and F would be I was like really down on it.
Yeah, C would be your neutral. So
okay.
Anyway, I thought you said C minus, but whatever.
Okay, then yeah, C minus maybe, but
yeah, and he is so brutally underperformed that like I feel like he should be at D minus.
The reason is a lot of people thought their weapons were going to be really good. Like a lot of people around the NFL were like, Caleb Williams is coming into such a good system. He has so many weapons, right? A lot of people were hyping that up.
And it was till Keenan Allen fell off.
Exactly. So
he's old.
Okay, we can go D minus. That's fine with me.
All right.
It's interesting, but
okay. Next one: Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, the Steelers. For time's sake, we had to put them together. But whatever. All right. This is a great move. This probably rivals A plus for me. I think I'd say A plus because the way Justin Fields came in and played was awesome, and the way Russell Wilson has come in and played is even better. Disregard last night. Okay, disregard it. Didn't happen. Okay, so I think you should give it an A plus because you got them at lower prices than their market than they performed at, right? Because they're both down on the market, and they both come in and performed really well. I was on the train of Russell Wilson, and the Broncos were bad, right? Not that he was bad, and so I think it should be an A plus.
Yeah, so I think the Justin Fields thing, it's crazy. Justin Fields is making more money than Russell Wilson right now, if you didn't know. It's crazy to think about. Russell Wilson took a big pay cut, obviously, to come to the Steelers. They weren't going to pay him all the money that Denver was paying him. They weren't going to make that mistake twice. And it paid off. So Russell Wilson has been balling the last couple weeks, except last night. Once again, we can disregard that.
No, it didn't happen.
It was in the snow, stuff like that. Tough game.
Didn't happen.
And Justin Fields, in his first, 4 weeks, was incredible. Really, I mean, it was stability, right? He went, 3-1?
I think so.
4-1. Like it was stability at the quarterback position, and that's what they wanted. Because I think they knew something was up with Russ, right? When they signed him, they knew there was some kind of injury that may have held him back. There was obviously something. That's why they signed Fields. Because I didn't get the Justin Fields.
Fields is also a long-term guy too.
Maybe
Russell Wilson it could have been Russell Wilson's bad, and that whole thing blows up, and you need Justin.
I totally agree. I want the Bears to trade the number 1 overall pick. I said that for the first multiple months leading up to the draft because I thought they should have kept Fields.
No,
but
I disagree. But whatever.
But I think the Fields thing was just weird to me because I didn't expect him to go to a team that had just signed a quarterback, but it paid off. So I agree. I think it's AA plus. We can go A plus.
Yeah, let's go A plus.
Go A plus. Okay.
Just Justin Fields. I feel like they know who he is, and they played to his ability. Form their system to his ability, rather than trying to make him something he's not. Kind of like the Bears are trying to do. I feel like.
Yeah.
The Bears are trying to make him an elite passer. He's just not that. But the Steelers, I feel like I didn't really watch any of their games, but the way he played,
it was a lot of slant passes.
Yeah, I feel like he was playing more to his strengths rather than like what the Bears are doing, trying to turn him into a great.
I could agree with that. Yeah.
So yeah, next one, Derrick Henry to the Ravens.
Ooh.
I don't. It's not as good as the Barkley deal.
No.
Now it's close though. Like this is a really good deal. He's been great. I was on the train of like he's gonna fall off. I avoided him in fantasy. I thought he'd be a good running back, but I didn't think he was gonna be Derrick Henry, and he has been. It's been awesome to watch. So what do you think about it?
So yeah, I totally disagreed with you at the start of the season. I thought Derrick Henry would come in and be better than Saquon.
It was another one of those. I was kind of like.
Yeah, for sure.
So I avoided
it's tough because he's old. It's the same thing
with Joe Mixon, who we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, and same thing with Keenan Allen. I mean, it's a bunch of stuff where you don't know what's going to happen. And I think the Derrick Henry thing, the Ravens run such a good run offense. So I was expecting Derrick Henry to come in and just keep that up. What he's been doing in Tennessee the last, 10 years, I think I expected him to keep that up, right? And he has. And he's actually overperformed, in my opinion, of what a lot of people thought he was going to do coming into this Ravens team with how old he is. I mean, he is truly one of the fastest players I've ever seen with a build like he has. Like, he is massive and he's fast.
He's old, he's still fast.
It's pretty impressive, and they got him for a lower price than I think a lot of people thought Derrick Henry was worth. So yeah, I think this is either on the same level as Saquon or just a smidge bit lower.
I say we go B+.
Ooh.
Or A-. I think it's B+ or A-. If you want,
I think A-. I would rather go A-.
Let's go A- then.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean he's got 1,100 yards already. He's got 13 20+ rushing plays, 20+ yard plays. Sorry, and 13 touchdowns, 100 yards per game. Yeah, he's been great.
Yeah, and I want y'all to remember that Baltimore's offensive line is good. It's not great, right?
6 yards per carry.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, he's been great.
He's been pretty good. So.
And him with Lamar, having Lamar just opens up those holes more because you have to respect Lamar.
I mean, Lamar threw the ball against the Bengals like 21 times or something.
He didn't have to because
exactly.
Because of the threat to pull the ball, it makes Derrick Henry even more effective.
Yeah.
All right, Josh Jacobs to the Packers. This one was one I thought it was interesting. I don't know why they flipped Aaron Jones for Josh Jacobs. I think Josh Jacobs is a better running back than Aaron Jones. Remember, Josh Jacobs was the rushing title a couple years ago.
Yep.
So this is a guy that can run the football. I'll pull up his stats, but I feel like this was a good move at the start. I feel like it's been just solid.
So I think the big thing with this is it went under the radar. A lot of people didn't remember that Josh Jacobs even went to the Packers. At the beginning of the year, people were still saying, "Oh yeah, he's in Las Vegas still, right?" No, he's on the Packers. And he's done pretty good. He's, in my opinion, exceeded expectations this year. I didn't expect him to come into the Packers and be this great running back. I just thought it was going to be like a serviceable guy who can help out Jordan Love. And he's been better. He's had a lot of breakaway runs. I think that's what's been most impressive.
Not that many. He had 6.
Yeah, but compared to Aaron Jones, who's more of a guy who
sure.
like, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying.
Derrick Henry at 13. So.
What exactly? Well, that's Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he's Derrick Henry.
So I think it's an under the radar move that I liked at the beginning, but I didn't really expect it to turn into something big.
I was so surprised that this was so under the radar. Josh Jacobs is a great running back. He was so great at Las Vegas just because Las Vegas was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and so I was so surprised how this went under the radar. I had expectations for this one. This is not one that could go bad. I feel like it was either going to go solid or it was going to go awesome. He was going to be the rushing leader. The Packers were going to win the Super Bowl. He's been solid. 838 yards, 83.5 yards per game, 4 touchdowns. So, 4.8 yards per carry is good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say we go B flat.
Okay, yeah, that's cool, man. That's kind of where I was too.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing with him is it's like he was coming off 2 pretty bad injuries 2 years ago. And it's similar to J.K. Dobbins going under the radar, going to Los Angeles. He's played very well. I think it's the same thing here. I think that was the only thing that was kind of holding him back for it not being this big move. And it's definitely paid off for the Packers.
Yeah, it's a good move. All right. Speaking of the devil, Aaron Jones to the Vikings.
I honestly have no clue. I'll be honest. I haven't watched much Vikings football this year. I've watched a couple games. I think the biggest thing here was you got a little bit younger at the running back position.
No, I
don't even know what the point was, but...
Yeah, I'll tell you what the point was. This was a great move by the Vikings. I said it at the start, I'll say it now. This was a great move because they were lacking at running back, right? Alexander Madison was not that good, right? And this is a team that knew they had their window was opening with Sam Darnold and with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and they needed a running back to pair with Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold would be just not good if he didn't have a running game, right? And so I think this was a great move by them to see that he got dropped by the Packers and go get him. Because I think Aaron Jones is a really good running back. He was really good for the Packers in his last few years. He's got 692 rushing yards right now.
Which is decent.
That's solid. 69.2 yards. per game. Only 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's been okay. I'll be
Yeah,
totally
I think as good as I thought.
So the thing with me is what I was going to say is Ty Chandler has been very, very good this year as a young guy.
Uh-uh.
He has. In the
3.5 yards per carry for Ty Chandler.
in the games he's played, he's only gotten a bunch of snaps in the last 3 weeks. He didn't get a ton of snaps at the beginning of the year. So
yards per carry.
okay, fair. I mean, Aaron Jones is 4.4.
Well, yeah,
it's not good either.
Too, but Ty Chandler, that's bad.
All I'm saying is it's another guy. It's not like you have this one running back field that's this young and up and coming like a Josh Jacobs or like a Saquon Barkley, who's just a guy who's truly just amazing.
Aaron Jones isn't young anymore.
And exactly, he's not. So I think the biggest thing is he hasn't had the ball in his hands every single time. He's a guy who brought some stability to the running back position, like you said. I don't know where to go.
I say C flat because I think this could end up paying off any week now. All right, at this point, he's gonna. I feel like he could get his game. At any point, he could go crazy the rest of the season. They can lean on him, and they could win 5 more games. But then also, he could just keep doing what he's doing. I feel like it's all right.
Well, I think this is what they kind of brought him in for.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I feel like he'd be a little more effective. 4.4 yards per carry.
They didn't bring him in to be this heavy run offense. They wanted to throw the ball. They
Yeah.
said that. They wanted Justin Jefferson to be the best receiver in the NFL. They wanted that. So I think that's one thing that I wasn't expecting him to be better than this. I thought he'd be maybe at 800 yards by now, but 692 is not that bad.
Well,
so,
if he had 6, I thought he'd be at least 5 yards per carry.
I think we go I think we go tick below Stephon Diggs. I think we go C minus.
I think it was Stephon Diggs.
Okay, let's go C. That's fine. It's in that realm. So.
Yeah. All right. Brian Burns to the Giants. What do you think, James?
I don't think this is much. We don't have to talk about this too long. I think the biggest thing is it made the Giants' defenses better. It's a thing that they could lean on in some games to keep them in a couple games. Their defense was extraordinary through the first 3 games of the season with Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau on each side. They were getting a lot of pressure to the quarterback. It was very impressive to watch. Actually, their schemes were really good, but their offense sold them at times. So I think. For the Giants, was this move needed, or was it... I mean, Brian Burns is still a very young player. He was drafted, 3 years ago now? I mean, he's still very young.
He's younger, yeah.
So, I think... I like the move. I think putting 2 edges on each side is really, really good football. I love to watch it. So, I like the move. Yeah, I liked it then. It's okay now.
I mean, it's not a bad move. He's a great player. He was one of the best players on the market. But I think the reason they did this was to make a playoff push. And where are they now? 2-8.
Okay.
So... And, their defense got better, but where are you? 2-8. How much has it paid off for your team? It hasn't that much. So, I think you can't go below D+. Because, you can't go above D+, Because,
okay.
Listen, they did this for a reason, and it has horribly paid off. It has paid off horribly. He's played well, but I feel like this is more of a team grade than a player grade. And the team has not benefited much from it.
So, I think the biggest thing with me is it's their defense kept them in games. I just said that. And
they haven't won them.
Fair, and that's because of the offense. That has nothing to do with Brian Burns. I mean, Brian Burns he's had one, it's not his best season. Last year was probably his best season so far. He's had a very good season. I think he's up to 7, 8 sacks maybe now?
6.
Okay, 6 sacks. That's not bad. That's
9 CFLs and 46 total.
That's pretty good, actually.
Good. Yeah, he's had a good season.
That's really good for the edge linebacker position. So, I'd give it a C minus.
So you think it's as good as a move as Aaron Jones?
Yep, I do.
I would have gone D minus.
D minus. I'll go D plus.
Yeah, let's go D plus.
I'll go D plus with you. That's fine. But you're grading more on the team, which I totally understand.
Because it's kind of a team move,
kind of, obviously, but I don't think one player comes in and depicts your whole team season.
Also, I think why do you do this? Your offense is more of a problem than your defense. You knew that coming into the season, but you're still doing all this crap. Anyway, L'Jarius Sneed to the Titans is next. You only have 2 more, James.
Another one I don't know too much about, if I'm being honest. I haven't watched a lot of Titans football. I've actually only watched 1 game, and that was the one against the Jets. But he's now on IR, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he has not been the guy that we saw in Kansas City. He also plays for the Titans. I want to throw that out there. He's a very good player, but he has not been the same L'Jarius Sneed that we saw in Kansas City. He's been efficient. He's been decent. He's just not the same guy, and he's playing for Tennessee.
He's playing for the Titans, and maybe last year it was just a one-hit wonder. Maybe he's never like that again. Because last year he was elite.
He was great last year.
So good.
No, he was very crucial.
I think they should have gotten him back. But again, money's money. They're the Chiefs. What you got to do in that kind of dynasty is kind of flip guys over, right? They've done a great job of that. He's got 23 tackles, 2 TFLs, not a single interception.
Nope.
passes defended, 0 passes defended.
Nope.
He's only played 5 games. I'd give them another one. Like, what are you doing? Like, your team's terrible.
Yeah, he was at the beginning of the season. It's a weird. I didn't really care about the move when it happened. I'm like, okay, fine.
Let's go D-.
Okay.
You know what? We haven't given it an F.
You want to give an F?
Give it an F.
All right. Yeah, I totally agree. It makes no sense towards the franchise, and it's a guy who you were kind of betting on him having another elite season, which he
It
has
doesn't
not.
matter because your team stinks either way.
Exactly. He's been decent throughout his career. He hasn't been elite, and you're kind of
Last year
throwing
he was
him a
elite.
bag for him to be elite like he was last year, right? I mean, for 1 year, it's tough, and if he doesn't do it, it's kind of just pointless.
Yeah, and there's no reason to sign him. That was dumb.
Yeah, it was weird.
Kind of like the Giants, but like even worse. 'Cause
Yeah, like good at a team.
The Giants had like something of a hope they made the playoffs, but the Texans, the Titans are just pitiful.
Like L'Jarius Sneed is not a number 1 corner in the NFL. He's not. He's a 2 seed. Last year, yes, obviously. Trey McDuffie was actually better than him last year. If you look at the advanced stats, Trey McDuffie was better. And if you look at the game in the eye test, Trey McDuffie was very good. L'Jarius Sneed was the best corner too, probably in the NFL. I think he can do that role really well. It's not going to be with the Titans though.
Yeah, he's terrible. All right.
It's also the
All
Titans.
right. Yes. Oh Lord, their audio's freaking out. All right. Anyway, I'll come back. Let's do Joe Mixon to the Texans now, shall we?
Okay, yeah. So this was actually one that we forgot about earlier in the week,
Yes.
right? So this was a underrated move, maybe when it happened, but
Our audio is bugging.
I loved it. I loved it when it happened. I think Joe Mixon, the biggest thing with him is it was.
There we go. Hey, we're back. Sorry, guys. I don't know if y'all can hear us.
Hey
before. I don't know.
Spotify, how we doing?
All right, we're on Joe Mixon. I don't know if y'all heard us before or not. I have no idea, but we're here.
The biggest thing with Joe Mixon is that he brought another weapon to C.J. Stroud. They were all in. They want to go win the AFC, right? They've been very good this year. They haven't been as C.J. Stroud hasn't been as elite as he was, obviously last year. It's that sophomore slump. He'll be back. But adding another piece, and Joe Mixon has been so good in the time he's played. He missed a couple games, but he's been elite in the games that he's played.
Yeah. So you said you thought he was gonna be elite.
Mm-hmm.
He was the guy that I was on the side. He'd be more of what Aaron Jones had done this season, right? I thought he'd fall off a little bit. I never thought he was that good, which I guess I was wrong. I just don't think he was used as much on the Bengals. I mean,
It was used a good amount.
I don't know. I always thought he was overrated.
They're trying to run the ball more now because they want to get a running game
I also
going.
think he's overrated now. He's got 4.5 yards per carry.
Okay.
He's got 100 yards a game. But
Yeah, I mean, you can't just
Running
look
back
at that.
yards per carry is like probably my favorite running back stat. 'Cause that tells you how effective they've been.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
You can hand the ball to him 1,000 times.
I mean, you can look at yards per game, too. I mean, it's the same thing.
it's not
100
the same
yards
thing,
a game and it's 4.5 yards a carry. I mean, it's not that bad.
That's a lot of carries. That's what that is, right? So, I mean, look, I think it was a good move. He's been better than I expected. Maybe not better than other people expected. I could give it a B minus. Let's go B.
I agree. I think it's on the same level as the Josh Jacobs.
I looked at it. Yeah,
I totally agree.
All right.
I was a big fan of him. He's been on my fantasy team the past,
I don't know.
4 years?
I've always avoided him.
I've always picked him up. I love Joe Mixon. It's one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite running back in the NFL.
Yep, for sure. All right, well, let's move on. That's good. We'll put it on the screen now. So yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Feeling good.
I don't think there's anything I changed. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think we did a good job. I think this is a fun little idea. Next week, college football playoff.
Ooh.
No.
Oh no! You just.
That's what our initial plan was. But I thought, why would we do it before rivalry week when we can do it just before conference championships? You know what I mean?
It's a good point. Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll do something else next week.
Hey, Egg Bowl's on Thanksgiving. Don't forget to watch the Egg Bowl.
Yeah.
We talked about that in our rivalries episode.
Sure.
Go check that out, by the way.
I don't know what we're gonna do next week, but
we'll figure it out. We don't want to spoil it for y'all. We actually know. We actually do know.
No, we don't. All right.
Cue the music.
The Bills end the Chiefs' undefeated season with a 30-21 win last week at their place. The Steelers beat the Ravens without a touchdown. Who could have predicted that one? The Cavs' unbeaten season ends at 15-0 after a loss to the Celtics. It's a fitting way to go down to the Celtics, right? Danny Dimes was released for Tommy DeVito. Daniel Jones has been released after requesting it. So the Giants had to take the cap hit. The Jets fired their GM after loss to the Colts. Looks like Rodgers did a little too much meditating this offseason. There's been new college football playoff rankings again this week. Notables include BYU at 14, Bama at 7, Ole Miss at 9, Tennessee at 12, and Army and Tulane up to 19 and 20 respectively. Georgia beat Tennessee last week. Kansas upset BYU. Number 1 recruit in the class of 2025, Bryce Underwood, flips his commitment from LSU to Michigan because Michigan is just a crazy quarterback hub. MLB awards this week. Rookie of the Year, AL, Luis Gil, NL, Paul Skeens, Cy Young, AL Tarek Skubal, NL Chris Sale, MVP AL Aaron Judge, NL Ohtani. I feel like all those were kind of chalk except for maybe Merrill in the NL Rookie of the Year. Indiana versus Ohio State and Notre Dame versus Army this week. James, who you got?
I'll go Notre Dame Army first. I don't think it's going to be close. A lot of people are saying Army might come in with this different feel. Notre Dame's a very good football team. I think they kind of dominate Army, if I'm being honest. I think it's similar to the Navy game.
Yeah, I'll say the same.
Army's better than Navy, but
not by much.
I do think that they do dominate Army. And Indiana, Ohio State. I'll tell you this. Ohio State's scared. Ohio State fans are actually scared. I will throw that out there.
I wouldn't be them. I wouldn't be if I were them.
I saw a lot of interviews this week where it's like, oh yeah, we're going to dominate them. There's no chance. And you can see it kind of in the faces of Ohio State fans that like this is a point in their season where it can ruin your season. It really can. I'm going to go Indiana. And that's going to be I've trusted the process at Indiana this year. I love their coach. I love what they're doing in Indiana, and I think there's a chance they can upset them. The spread is like 12 now, which is crazy for a 5-2 matchup. That is insane. But I don't know. I think Indiana could pull it out.
Yeah,
it's in the shoe though.
I'll take Notre Dame, like you said. Army won't score more than 7. They just won't.
Maybe, yeah. It's gonna. Yeah.
It'll be like the Navy game. They might get shut. I would bet on them getting shut out. That's what I'll bet on. Like their offense just isn't that good. They're a service academy. Like sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, Indiana, Ohio State. Indiana's got to prove it to me at this point. They haven't played anyone. I really don't think they're that good. But they can. But I'm not certain on that. They can show me that this week that they're amazing. But they got to prove it to me. I think the rest of the country feels that way. That's why the spread is what it is. Ohio State's proven themselves, and Indiana's just less talent. They have played nobody. So we'll see this week.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to like the Indiana passing game versus the Ohio State corners and safety. It's going to come down to that matchup, in my opinion. State. And Ohio State might have the better of it. So it'll be interesting. I got Indiana.
I've got Ohio State by 2 scores.
Oh, okay. Well, you're right at the spread then. Yeah.
Bryce Underwood flips, which I hate, and it's terrible, but whatever.
We talked about it earlier in the week, and I don't know. I was expecting it to happen like a couple weeks ago when the $10.5 million thing came out.
Oh, no.
It was 12. I was expecting him to eventually flip to Michigan in the next couple days after that. He didn't. He actually posted on his Instagram story saying declining. Like, if he reposted on his Instagram, it was like, I'm going to decline.
Well, he declined to 10.5. That's why they boosted it to 12. But he hadn't stepped on Michigan's campus in the last year and a half. He's been to LSU at least 8 times.
That's not all true. I know you heard that from Matt Moscona. Yeah, it's not all true. But
okay, well
he was at practice this week.
He's shown no interest in Michigan. He's shown all the interest in LSU, and so I thought he'd be adamant and stay that way, but guess not.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think it was the wrong decision because LSU offered him 6.
Yeah, he's been all in on LSU, and I think he kind of played us. I'm gonna be totally honest. But
I think he thought the same thing we thought until he got the $12 million offer.
If I was in his position, I'd take the money too. I think it's a package over $20 million. It'll come out in the next couple of weeks after he signs. It will come out and see what the package truly is. It's $12 million from Michigan. There's a lot of other outside sources that are pouring in money.
The money comes from the boosters.
It's not.
The Michigan isn't pulled together that money.
Okay. Yes.
I promise you.
I promise you that the package is good. Okay, we'll see what happens. That's what I'm saying.
The package might be more, but
I believe that the whole package is going to be over $20 million.
Michigan doesn't come up with that $12 million. The boosters come up with that $12 million.
Michigan comes up with about half of it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Yeah. So that stinks for LSU.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they can flip them back in 2 weeks, but
they won't.
They won't.
But I think it was a bad decision. If they offered him less than $4 million from LSU, I would agree with you. But $6 million is plenty.
I'm taking the money.
You can make your entire life with $6 million.
Yeah, and that's what his family said.
He will get more, and he would make more money in the NFL going to LSU.
Yeah, so his family literally came out and said, like, when he originally committed, back in January of last year, or January this year, I guess. But they said that we're making an NFL decision over an NIL decision, right?
And the NIL got too big.
All that came out, and it was just too big of an offer to turn down, and I totally get it.
Yeah, I get it. I would have made a different decision.
Okay.
All right, new segment, Heisman Watch. We're really only doing it once, but we call it a new segment. All right. So top 3 Heisman candidates. Make it real quick, James.
Okay.
We're kind of running short on time now. Cam Ward is my first. Sorry. Oh my God.
Is your number 1?
No, number 3.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll start at 3 then.
Obviously, we're starting at 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Cam Ward's on number 3. 3,494 yards, 32 touchdowns, 6 picks. That's an 89.3 QBR. That is first in college football. He's led Miami to a 9-1 record with many come from behind victories. We have Cam Ward and you don't. Has been the end of games right now for Miami. He's the best quarterback in college football. Don't be surprised if he gets it if they do But if he does, it'll really be submitted as a quarterback award.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I have a different quarterback here. I'm going to go Dylan Gabriel. He's now the third player on the odds on the sports book right now. It'll end up being Cam Ward. Cam Ward will get invited to the Heisman ceremony. I don't think he'll win it. But I do think that this has become a quarterback award, so I have to throw a quarterback in here to the top three. I'm going to go Dylan Gabriel. They're undefeated. He's won them a couple games. So I'm going to go Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, they're both getting invited.
Yeah, I think it'll literally be exactly.
Yeah.
I do think it will be.
All right, my number 2 is Ashton Jeanty. 256 carries this year, which is crazy. 1,893 yards, 26 touchdowns at 7.4 yards per carry. You thought Derrick Henry was good? My God. All right, he's leading Boise State to a 9-1 record just basically by himself. He's on pace for 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. How many players do you think have done that? 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns.
In college?
Yeah, in college. How many players? I guess who did?
Well, what's his name? Dude who went to OSU. Barry Sanders did it?
How many people you totally have done it?
2.
Just Barry Sanders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he'd be the second player, and he's on pace to get it. So that's crazy.
That's impressive.
Yeah, like he's been like the best running back almost of all time. Second best running back of all time in college football history is Ashton Jeanty, single season wise. And so there's in any other year, I think he might win it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we'll totally have to see. It depends if Boise drops another game. If they don't win their conference championship, it'll all depend on that. If they get in the playoffs, he will be at the Heisman ceremony. He'll be there either way. If they make the playoffs, there's a good chance he's going to win it. And it's the same thing with the next guy on number 1. But
all right, let's go.
I think Ashton Jeanty it's going to be top 2.
Yeah.
I don't really have much else to say. The way he bounces off the tackles is so impressive. He's been one of my favorite players to watch. It's cool to see this underdog story. He's in my 2 too.
Yeah, the only way these two aren't top 2 is if Cam Ward or Dylan Gabriel sneaks up there because it's a quarterback award. But there's no reason for Ashton Jeanty or Travis Hunter not to be 1 and 2. But I mean, Cam Ward's been really good too. Anyway, my number 1 is Travis Hunter. 74 receptions, 911 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a forced fumble. This team's 8-2. He takes no snaps off, which is crazy. He's at the top of college football at wide receiver and DB. He's a guy I don't think will translate to the NFL, but he's been very, very good in college this year.
What's
I don't
up?
know if you can hear them. I don't really care. All right. So yeah, I think I kind of wanted to put Ashton Jeanty up there. I'm kind of convincing myself right now too, but I'll keep Travis Hunter, especially in the last couple of weeks is when I've really flipped. But I had Ashton Jeanty until a couple.
Yeah, I totally agree. Travis Hunter's my number 1 too. He's the best player in college football. He played both sides of the ball. It's the most effective that we have ever seen since Charles Woodson did it, and Travis Hunter is way more effective than that. Charles Woodson won the Heisman that year, if you don't remember. He won it over Peyton Manning. Probably shouldn't have. Travis Hunter will win the Heisman if they make the playoffs. If Colorado makes the playoffs, Travis Hunter will win the Heisman. He is the best player in college football, and he will go number 1 overall.
Yeah, I think he'll win it. I think he'll win it.
We'll have to see. He's definitely deserving of being there.
I don't think he'll go number 1. Just because,
it depends on who the team is, for sure.
Yeah,
I agree.
I really don't think he's that good. He's going to be that good. He's good.
I don't really get why you don't see that.
He's a good receiver. He's a good DB. I'm not going to tell you he's not. But he's the great guy. He's the guy to get drafted at the top of the board. So I think he'll end up being...
There's no great guys in college football.
I think he'll end up being an all mediocre receiver and a mediocre DB in the NFL. And it won't translate.
So he's getting drafted off of his DB, most likely. He's a better DB than he is a receiver.
I think he'll play 2-way.
I think he will too. I do think that they'll do it in the NFL. But he is getting drafted off the corner ability and the way they just do not throw him the ball.
But it's like...
Because they're scared of him.
There's so many better corners in the NFL.
Okay, he's a rookie.
Think of a Derek Stingley. He's not on the same level as Derek Stingley.
I mean, he's a rookie. Yeah,
no,
coming out of the draft? Yeah, for sure he is. For sure. I promise you.
Travis Hunter's not. I don't think he's that good.
He 1,000% is. He's just not playing for as big of a brand as LSU. I promise you. If Travis Hunter was playing for LSU, he'd be on the same level. You'd think of him on the same level.
Nah.
Okay.
I don't agree.
We'll agree to disagree. You ready?
Okay. I don't know if you can hear them, but I don't really care. They're annoying. Anyway, let's get to the NFL picks. I'm up by 9 now. James got me by 1 last week. 105-96 is the score. And we have a guest this week. Our leader in the clubhouse is Luke Duvall, still. At 76.9%. Let's see if our guest can beat it. Let's call him up.
I think the biggest thing is I got to keep chipping away, right? It's another 1. You know what I mean? So I'm going to keep chipping away. This week, I'm going to try to win by 2. Because last week I picked 2 games.
All right, Charlie's here. Hey, Charlie.
Charlie, you there?
Hello?
Charlie.
I can't hear you. Are you on mute? Yeah, he ended the call.
Anyways,
he's calling back.
I'm gonna keep chipping away.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, he's here. All right.
Hey, Charlie.
What's up, Charlie?
What's up, guys?
All right, so we have 12 games for you this week. You need 10 of them for the lead, period. If you get less than 10, you don't have the lead. If you get 10 or more, you get the lead. So you have 2 margin for error here. We'll start Tampa Bay and the New York Giants. Get the sound effects ready, James. You go ahead first.
I'm gonna go with the New York Giants. And I'm gonna go. Yeah, I am. I don't care. I genuinely don't. I do think this is a game they can win. This is when I feel confident on. The Bucks aren't playing great football right now. I think Tommy DeVito is gonna come in and bring a new life. I think it's gonna be a score where it's like 15-12. I'm gonna give the Giants the edge though, and we're gonna keep playing this joke.
Terrible. Like you're wrong when you say it.
Yeah.
You're financially bonded to it.
I do think this is one I'm more confident than the other ones. Well, obviously.
You have to get picking them now. Like, you can't go back at this point, right?
Yeah, I just did.
Okay. I have Tampa Bay. Both of these teams are skidding, but I think this is a bounce-back game for Baker and the Bucks. I think they'll turn it around, especially with the schedule they have left. It's so easy. They'll get a few wins, and they'll win this one as well.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie. I'm going to go with the Bucks here. The Giants suck. They just cut their starting quarterback, and they have Tommy DeVito as their starting quarterback. I don't really think you can beat a team like the Bucks with that caliber of a quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you got yourself into this 12-point rut by picking the Giants. You're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And you're going to just fall back down. I'm telling you.
Maybe.
They never learn. You stopped picking them, and then you started coming
no,
back.
it's because they were on a bye. It was because they played Washington and had a bye week. That's the only reason I'm tipping away.
And you came back, and now you're going to just lose it again.
I don't think they're trying to win games. That's probably the problem is what I'm doing here.
Kansas City, Carolina. We have to really get fast.
This will be Kansas City. I do think Carolina stays in it, and I do think it's close, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
This is good versus bad. I think the Chiefs bounce back with a vengeance here. Give me the Chiefs.
Give me the Panthers.
Okay. No, I love it.
I hate the Chiefs. I can't pick the Chiefs.
I agree.
Yeah. Washington, Dallas.
This will be Washington. Dallas will not be close in this game. They will have another blowout on their season, and Washington will win this one by 3 scores.
Yeah, Washington needs a bounce back win. Dallas with Cooper Rush could not have come at a better time. Give me Washington.
Yeah, I'm going to say Washington, too. The Cowboys are terrible.
Yeah, I agree. Patriots, Dolphins.
I do think this is very, very close. And I'm going to be honest. I'm looking at the games right now. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch my pick right now because I didn't think about it. I'm going to go with the Patriots, actually.
Right.
And I think Drake May's playing his best football right now. He's actually been the best rookie the past, 3 weeks. So I'm going to go with the Patriots here, upsetting the Dolphins.
It's sort of my 2 worst nightmares for you to pick the Patriots because I really am not that confident. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I think it's a close game. Close game. I think Tyreek goes crazy, though. I got the Dolphins. They're back to themselves.
I'm going to go Patriots. I really like Drake May. Really like Tayshaun Bootsy. I feel like they could have a really good season together.
Okay,
yeah,
I like it.
Houston, Tennessee.
Ooh, this is going to be so close. Battle of the Oilers uniforms, right?
Sure.
Nah, I'm going Houston. It'll be a blowout. Tennessee's not a good football team.
Yeah, same thing I said for Washington. Houston needs a win, and perfect time to see the Titans on your schedule.
Yep.
Give me Houston.
Yeah, give me Houston. It's not even going to be remotely close.
Yep. Detroit, Indianapolis.
This will be Detroit. Detroit's the best team in football the last 4 weeks. I'm going to be totally honest with you. They have been the best team. And they'll do the same thing here against just a really bad team. And I think Detroit wins, once again, 3 or 4 scores. They're pretty bad.
Their Colts aren't bad. They're mediocre.
It won't be close.
No, I don't think this will be close at all. Detroit just looks unbeatable. I've been saying the Chiefs are the best because they were undefeated, but I never really believed it. Now I'm going to switch. Detroit's the best in football, and they're going to win this week.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. I don't think the Lions are going to lose for a while.
No. Vikings, Bears.
I'm going to go Minnesota. Chicago's not playing well. They're not clicking on all cylinders. Caleb Williams really isn't working. A lot of reports came out this week about Caleb Williams. Don't want to get into that, but I'm going to go with the Vikings.
I didn't see that. Anyway. Maybe I have to look that up.
It's with Tyson Badgent's dad, called in and said, he should be starting.
I don't care. Chicago looks bad right now. Minnesota's going to dominate this game. And, that's it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Vikings. I don't think Caleb Williams is the guy.
Okay.
He should have stuck with Justin Fields, in my opinion.
Totally agree. I've been saying that for a very long time.
I disagree, but, we'll see. I think he's just a rookie quarterback. He'll be good. Mm-hmm. He's just a rookie quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Las Vegas and Denver.
Denver. This is just bad and bad, but
Denver's not.
But Denver is good.
Okay.
What are you talking
Okay,
about?
they're not. They're really not that good. Bo Nix is playing very well, which is why I do think they win this game. They're not a good football team on paper, is what I'm saying. Denver's the better team, so I'll give the edge to Denver.
Yeah, Las Vegas is just a joke. We say it every single week. It'll be a blowout win for Denver.
Yeah, the Raiders suck. Denver's playing really well right now. I got Denver.
All right, Green Bay, San Francisco. Biggest game of the week.
Yeah, it's a pretty big game, but I'm gonna give the edge to Green Bay. I do love what the Niners are starting to do. They're starting to get their season back a little bit. But I'm gonna go Green Bay. They're playing better is what I'm saying. It's not like the wins and losses aren't the only thing. They're playing better football, right? And they get Christian McCaffrey back. It's a lot of stuff. I'm gonna go with Green Bay. I believe it's at Lambeau, so I do think that gives them a slight edge. I'll go with the Packers.
This is my other one I wanted you to pick with me, but I was more confident about this one. I'm gonna take Green Bay as well. San Francisco just keeps losing. If they don't get to the playoffs or to the conference championship this year, their window will be over. Like, it's that simple. They have to prove it to me for me to keep picking them. I got a big game for Jordan Love, big game for the Packers. Give me a win for the Packers.
I got the Niners. I feel like they haven't had a great season. They got McCaffrey back. Juwan Jennings showing that he's a pretty good receiver. Their defense is good, so I think they can beat this pretty good Packers team.
Okay.
Yeah, I was saying that every week until this week. Got to prove it to me now. Cardinals, Seahawks.
Wow, this game was on the schedule? I didn't even realize. I totally didn't even put it down, but I'm going to go Arizona.
Wait, what are the teams?
Cardinals, Seahawks.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go...
Crazy, like...
I didn't see it on the schedule, but I guess I just missed it. I'm going to go Arizona. They're playing really well right now, coming off the bye as well. I think Kyler Murray shows what he's been doing this year. He's been a top 5 quarterback in football. So I'm going to go Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I think it's a close game, but I'll take the better quarterback down the stretch. Give me Kyler and the Cardinals.
Yeah, I agree with you. Cardinals all day.
Yeah, the record isn't showing it, but there's something about them. There's
They're
something
fun
there.
to watch.
All right, Philly and the Rams.
This is actually my favorite game of the week. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. They're playing their best football, if I'm being honest. Saquon looks truly elite. We talked about it earlier in the episode. They're clicking on all cylinders, unlike a lot of other teams. They're hitting their stride at the best time of the season. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
They do it this time of year every year,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Eagles, they hit their stride. They look very, very dangerous right now. I think they stay hot. They win by 2 scores.
Yeah, I agree. The Eagles look unbeatable right now. Saquon Barkley looks like easily the best running back in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They got 2 amazing wide receivers, good defense. I think they take this one.
All right, finally, Baltimore and the Chargers.
This was a game where I was really thinking about it, but then it came down to quarterback play, and I just had to give the edge to Baltimore. They're just better in most positions on offense. I do think they dominate time of possession. This is Monday Night Football. It'll be a really good game, but I got Baltimore pulling it out.
Yeah, I got Baltimore too. Lamar is just too dangerous. Justin Herbert was really, really good last week. I didn't watch the second half, but in the first half he was slinging it.
Horrible in the second half. But.
Close one for the Ravens here, but I like the Chargers, man.
I got the Chargers. I really like the Chargers. I think they can be a good team, and I think the Ravens are a little overrated.
Okay. That's
All
fair.
right, James, you got 2 differences with me this week.
Yep, gotta win
both
both
of them.
Yep.
You gotta beat me by over.
Or at least win one of them.
You gotta beat me. No, you have to. If you win one of them, you don't chip away.
I literally do. Oh, no, it would even out. You're right. Good point. Because I won 2 last week and you won 1.
Yeah. So, you gotta win by more than an average of more than 1 per week. This is one you gotta get both of them, or else it might be over.
Okay.
I mean, look, because how many differences are we gonna pick the rest of the year?
We'll see.
Like, if I win 1 week, I think it's over. But if we tie this week, it's pretty far fetched.
Okay.
All right, dog of the week.
Dog of the week.
I'll start. My dog of the week is Emmett Mosley the 5th. That's crazy.
Okay.
5 generations.
Bro's the 5th? Wow. Never heard of him.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver for Stanford. He had 13 receptions, 168 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He led Stanford to a 38-35 win over Louisville, who was ranked 9 and more because of Emmett Mosley.
Joe watched the Louisville game, by the way. This game was freaking crazy. It was the Hail
Mary. Don't know who Emmett Mosley is.
It was the Hail Mary at the end.
I didn't see that.
It was incredible. It was
like,
and there was I don't know, but there was multiple like false start penalties, which got him closer and closer.
No, it would be offside.
Oh no! It might have been a field goal. It might have actually been a field goal. I don't know. Either way, there was multiple offsides penalties that got them closer and closer. Louisville sold this game. They had it in the bag. Stanford ended up winning. They probably shouldn't have, but it was a really good game. I watched the second half of it. It was very impressive what Stanford did to come back, at least.
All right, James.
I'll go with my dog of the week. I'm going to go with another freshman. I've shouted out a lot of freshmen this year in college football. I'm going to go with the freshman quarterback from Arizona State. I'm going to go Sam Leavitt. We haven't given Arizona State their flowers here on the podcast, so I want to give it to them right now. They have 1 loss in the season. They beat ranked Utah when they were ranked. They beat Kansas State when they were ranked. And they're right in this race with Colorado for the Big 12 title. He went 24 for 21 for 34, had 275 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 5 carries for 42 yards versus Kansas State, who's ranked number 16. Sam Leavitt played really, really well, and as a true freshman, leading Arizona State to two losses now? 2 losses, but 1 in the Big 12, right? Or it's 2 in the Big 12?
2.
Oh, but they're still in the race because the Big 12 sucks. Yeah, okay.
They're not really in the race. One of the teams has to lose.
No. If they went out, they're in. I promise
Maybe.
you. If they went out, if they went out and Colorado went out, it's Colorado ASU.
No.
If ASU beats BYU this week,
they play BYU.
if they beat them this week, then they're in.
That's
Maybe.
not gonna happen.
Okay.
All right, Charlie, who's your dog of the week? Quick.
James, I gotta say, I'm proud of you for not picking Shador Sanders.
He was a dog last week. He's not the biggest dog,
All right,
but he was
who's
a
your
dog.
dog, Luke? Or not
My
Luke.
dog is Lenora Sellers. He led the South Carolina Gamecocks to a 34-30 win over Missouri. He had 350 yards and 5 touchdowns. One of his best weeks yet, so I gotta give it to him. He did great.
Yeah,
Incredible.
I wanted to pick him, but I already picked him this year. All right, thank you, Charlie, for coming on.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, see ya. All right, he's gone. And thank you for listening to this episode. I thought we'd get a short one this week, but we went way longer.
I think it was a good one, though.
Yeah, I think it was a good episode. I thought it would be short, and it was the longest one we've had all season. So, thank you for watching, and peace.
Hey, go Sun Devils. They're winning this week.
All right, sure.